And the only guy to get off the stern of the Athabascan alive. And he got off because he was blown into the water by the explosion. And I told him about my dad, and I asked him if he knew anything. He said, yeah, he was standing on the after signal deck, and I don't know what happened to him, but I imagine he was killed almost instantaneously. So in a way, that was a bit of a comfort, because that ship went down about 6 miles off the Breton coast in the Sound, and that's about maybe 20 nautical miles inland from the island of Busan. And when the tide is running, when the tide is filling up, the currents there are about 10 knots. So you can imagine how far down channel the survivors of the Athabascan were taken, and the bodies as well. They went down as far as Puskat, which is about 15, 20 miles down channel from where the sinking took place. I'm sort of getting ahead of myself here. The Haida beings with the Athabascan at the time was very special to me. And in 1963, the ship came to Toronto on part of a farewell tour before she was going to be decommissioned. And I was fortunate enough to be one of those who was invited on board. I was the information officer at HMCS York in the Reserve Navy at the time, and writing a military column for the Telegram and doing general duty as a reporter for television. So I met these other guys on the Haida and the last trip in 1963. And the guy who was our spark plug was Neil Bruce. And Neil was an Air Canada pilot whose brother had served on Huron during the war. And so his naval interests were really through osmosis more than anything else. The other guy, one of the other guys was Norm Simpson. He's an ex-naval officer, and he was a lawyer in Toronto. And there was David Kidd, and he was a public relations man with an interest in the Navy. And then there was Alan Howard, who was the curator of the Ontario Maritime Museum. And Alan, bless his heart, was in a wheelchair. But anyway, 5 of us got together, and we decided we'd think about trying to buy the ship when they retired in 1964. So I was writing the military column. I knew Paul Hendon, who was the defense minister, and I went to Paul and I asked him what the chances were of us buying the ship. He said, well, you have to go through Crown assets. And, you know, in scrap, the ship was probably worth $500,000. About 2 weeks later, Paul came back and he said, well, I think what I can arrange is that you can get the ship for $20,000 to be paid over 10 years with the first payment deferred a year and no interest. Now that's almost a gift. He said, well, the only provision is that if the country goes to war and we need the ship back, you let us have it. No problem. So that's what happened. Then, in 1964, in the summer, when we were in late summer, we were going to pick the ship up in Sorel. We had to pick it up, and we were responsible for the ship from Sorel to Toronto. So at York, at HMCS York, we arranged about 18 guys to go down to Sorel via Montreal to pick up the ship. I remember we convinced the conductor on the train that this 120-volt generator we had was handbags. And that was quite a chore, believe me. So we arrived at the ship, and I'm the only member of Haida Incorporated there. So I signed for the ship. And I might say, by the way, when we were arranging the financing, all of us put our homes up at the bank to secure a line of credit with the Bank of Commerce. And I phoned my wife and I said, guess what, dear? I mortgaged the house, but we own 1/5 of it, destroy it. And she started saying over the phone, well, what do you do? You can imagine how my wife thought. Anyway, our warship's electrical system is 220 volts, and this is a 120 volt generator. So we strung the emergency wiring back and forth in the ship so that we could power the ship, put the generator down behind Peterborough, and went to the local supermarket and screwed them out of all the light bulbs. They were all 120 volt bulbs, so we lit the ship. It was really kind of neat to see this happen. And we'd taken about 8 Coleman stoves with us, and all kinds of silly rations. And we set up the Coleman stoves on the boardroom flats, and we had a couple of guys keyed off as cooks. And that's the way we fed each other. And we also, by the way, bought some bottles of rum. and we had our outskirts in the wardroom. In fact, we did that fairly regularly. I remember we had these two French Canadian toddlers, the Africans, and we had a communication system that we brought, walkie-talkies. And our guy who was the titular captain, Bill Wilson, was Lieutenant Commander at York, and he was the executive officer at York. And he would get on the phone and say, "Warship Haida to Tugby's house, Warship Haida, Tugby's house." Well, the French Canadian captains put up this for about 15 minutes and then ditched their communications. We had no communications with them at all. And I remember going through the locks in the seaway, and in the St. Lawrence River, the fog came down. It was terrible. And by this time, we're down to one tug because we're through all the locks. And this tug anchored, and we're streaming astern of it in the fog, and we have no idea where we are. And motorboats kept materializing out of the fog. And picture Bill Wilson, Lieutenant Commander, with an SO road map in his hands, leaning over the rail and saying to the motorboats, "Where are we?" And just imagine how they felt. I was fired in the St. Lawrence, I didn't know where the hell was. Anyway, we made it this road, and I remember we got there just as the fireworks went off at the exhibition. So we anchored out that night to, make a dramatic entrance during the day. And then when we came in that morning, the fireboat was out, and all the pleasure boats in the city were out, horns fluting and the fireboat spraying its nozzles, and we brought the ship in to the jetty at the foot of North Street. And there on the jetty waiting for us was Jim's father, Harry Dewolf, and Bob Wellham, who was also, he was an admiral then, but he was a former CEO of Haida, and Phil Gibbonson, and Paul Haida. So we had quite a reception committee. And then we opened the ship. We hired a retired commander to be the ship keeper, and he had a staff, and we decided we would get, the ship was going to be open to the public. And students were free, and there was an admission charge for their parents. And that's why it's okay, but then it got cold, and we faced a dilemma. There were about 40 openings to the water from the inside of the ship. For the heads and for water coming into the ship for cooling, and big openings for the terraces. And the trouble is, we have a ship with no power except electric power from the shore, and all these openings in fresh water, which is going to freeze. If the water in those openings froze, it expands and it would crack the hull, and the ship would sink. So we had to have water running through each one of these openings 24/7, with the pumps going 24/7. At one stage during that winter, I think we had 8 feet of water in the engine room, and we were terrified she was just going to sink at the dock. So quite often we were walking in the middle of the night, what are we going to do? So we had to come down and fix it. We got through that winter, and I think Norm Simpson arranged with a guy by the name of Scott Meisner, who ran a shipping line and also ran the dockyards at Port Wellington. And in the spring, we had either towed to Port Wellington, and all the waterside openings were brought to shut and then brought back to Charlotte. And that's a job that would have been maybe $100,000, and he raised to us for $20,000. And David Kidd raised the money. So we were laughing. Now, I got ahead of myself a bit there, because in the fall of 1964, Prince Philip and Queen Elizabeth came to Canada to celebrate the centennial of the Charlottetown Conference. And I was covering this visit both in Charlottetown and in Quebec City. And I was fortunate enough to be asked on board Britannia for a cocktail party. And everybody sort of glommed on the Queen. I headed straight to Prince Philip. And I told him what we had done with the Haida, how we had saved the ship, and they said, we formed Haida Incorporated. And Your Highness, I'd love it if you could become my patron. Well, he sort of reared back and he said, you can't ask me that sort of thing, you have to go through proper channels. And he leaned forward and he said, and this is how you do it. And he gave me instructions, I followed his instructions, and 2 months later, he became my patron. Now, I was fortunate enough a couple of times after that, 2 or 3 years later, to meet him at one kitchen. And without me saying a word, he grabbed my arm and said, how's the Haida? So he was really, really interested in the ship. I know he was touring Toronto about 2 or 3 years after we got the ship. And he was very upset because they gave him no time on the Haida. So he complained, and they gave him 15 minutes. Well, he came, and we felt him run in the wardroom. He stayed for 2.5 hours. He toured all over the ship, climbed on the bridge, looked in various positions, and really was interested. And he sure put a lot of schedules out of whack with that. I don't know what happened to the rest of it, and I don't think he cared. But why he had fun. So this summer, when the Haida was declared the honorary flagship of the Navy, and also a National Historic Site, I wrote to them and told them about this. And I got the loveliest letter back saying, it shows to know you that you guys really did something worthwhile. And she was right. But I know that in '71, we gave the ship to the province of Ontario. And under Robarts and under Davis, the ship was looked after very well. And then the government came in with the NDP and the Liberals, and they didn't really care about the ship. And it was really in danger of sinking in its jetty. So Sheila Cox came to us, and she was the Deputy Prime Minister at the time, and providing us in Hamilton. And she said, Parks Canada will take over the ship and save it, providing you let us take the ship to Hamilton, which of course is where she was from. And there was no alternative. So the ship went to Hamilton from Toronto, and that's where she is today. And Parks Canada has spent, I guess, maybe $7 or $8 million maintaining the ship, and it's in good condition. And I must tell you, on the 26th of May, when we went down there, it was so wonderful to see the ship the way it was. Jim and I were together, and my family was all there. Gosh, it just made everything worthwhile. And the Haida has a really close connection with the globe. And I hope that I've made it a little stronger, that connection with the globe. It's something that I hope some of you, or all of you maybe, one of these days see. It'd be lovely to have you go and make a tour of the ship, because boy, it's really something. I know when I was there in May, the Navy, every serving admiral in the Canadian Navy was there. And they had a meeting of the Naval Board in the Haida's wardroom. And that was really something special. Anyway, that's the capsule story of the Haida. And before I leave that, I'd like to just say that this is my 3rd year coming down here for your Remembrance Day service. And I think this is the best Remembrance Day service that you guys put on that I have ever seen. The show that the students put on, the show that the staff put on. Last year, you guys won an award for the programs in the province, and very justly deserved. You really deserve a lot of credit for that, because the interest that you have shown in the schools past and the people who have contributed to making this the best country in the world. Keep that interest up, because the Globe tradition of service is one that is really worth hanging on to. Thank you very, very much for having us.